In this video, I'm going to show you how to place your coolant temperature sensor on this Lexus IS250. This will be located on the back side of the engine. We'll have to remove a few things for this and drain the coolant. Let's get started. Remove your engine cover if your vehicle has one. There should be one here, but mine is already missing, so I'm going to skip this step. It'll be attached with a 10mm bolt in the back, in the center, and then 2 pins at the front that you can just pry up on. At the front of the engine, right behind the radiator, you'll see the radiator cap. Let's remove this. Make sure the engine's cold, of course. Turn it counterclockwise. Sometimes you might need to press down on it in order to release it. It'll click once and then it'll click again, and only then can you pull it off. Set this aside. Underneath the vehicle on the front where the radiator is, typically there's a shield here. Mine is missing, but you would either want to partially remove it or completely remove it with a 10mm socket and a trim tool for some push clips. Or if you reach around, you might be able to access this because that shield is supposed to have a hole for the coolant to drain through, so you may not even have to remove it. Regardless, turn this counterclockwise and unthread it. That will allow coolant to drain, and we'll just let this completely drain. This is done draining, so I'll thread this back in to close it off. Make sure that it's snug, but it's plastic, so once it bottoms out, tiny bit extra, put some pressure on it, and that's it. Wipe off anything that's still dripping, and then if you had a shield right here, put it back on. Let's get this intake tubing out of the way. We'll start with the clamp that's near the air box, and we'll use a 10mm socket to loosen that up. With this loosened up, we'll leave it right here for now. A little bit further up, you'll see this hose right here. It's got a clamp that you can pinch with your hand, twist it, and pull it right off. On the throttle body side, there's a 10mm headed screw that holds this clamp down tight, and we need to loosen this up to release pressure off the clamp. All right, now you can pull this off the throttle body and off of the air filter, and there we go. Let's remove the throttle body off of the intake manifold. It's got 4 10mm headed bolts. Now we can pull this away. I'm going to unplug it just so that there isn't any excessive pressure on the pins or the wires on the connector, and we're just going to let it hang right here. Next, we have to remove the battery, which is located on the passenger side right up against the firewall. Use a 10mm wrench and disconnect the negative battery terminal. Loosen up this mounting nut, and once you loosen it up a little bit, you should be able to pull the terminal right off. Set it aside. We'll do the same to the positive. Just remove the cap first. And all the way in the back, you'll see a stud with a mounting nut on it. That's 10mm in size. We'll have to unthread this at least a little bit, if not all the way, so we can remove this bracket that holds the battery down. You can do this with a wrench or a socket. Typically, it's a little difficult to fit a socket in here just because of its location. So I'm going to just unthread it by hand with a wrench. Once you loosen it up, if the threads aren't too rusted, you should be able to spin this by hand. With this mounting nut removed all the way, lift up this bracket, unhook it from this end, set it aside. Hopefully your battery has a handle, that way you can easily lift it right up and out. At this point, we'll be looking through right here, right where the throttle body would be, to work, but we'll be reaching underneath. And right here is that coolant temperature sensor that we're after. You can see my screwdriver pointing right to it. The electrical connector has to come off first. So if you go right through where the battery is, you'll be able to reach the connector right here. We'll have to press on this tab and just disconnect it. All right. Now with that out of the way, we'll use a 19mm deep socket so it can go over the connector part of the sensor, and we'll unthread it and pull it out. All right. For this particular situation, it is ideal if you have a swivel on your extension or wobble extensions, which is what I have, which are cut out for just a little bit of movement. Break this free and unthread it the rest of the way. Make sure you have a collection bucket ready to catch any coolant that will come out. All right. Now, this will be a little bit difficult because we'll have to reach in here, manually spin it a few times. Otherwise, the socket won't really allow me to start it into the threads. It's just going to want to fall out. All right, got it started. So I'm going to snug it up. I'm going to use that same 19mm socket, and we'll tighten it up until it gets nice and snug. Now it will be very difficult to torque this, so I'm just going for tight and then a little bit extra. All right, that just bottomed out. I'm going to snug it and a little bit extra. That right there is plenty. It actually has thread sealer already applied on the threads, and the washer that's right on the base of the threads right there is going to squeeze, and that's what's going to seal things up. Now we're good to reconnect the electrical connector. We'll listen for a click. That definitely clicked. So at this point, this is installed. Let's put things back together up top. Reinstall your battery. And let's resecure it. We'll get this bracket hooked back over. While holding this in place, thread on the mounting nut on the other end. If you let go of this, it might kind of fall out of place. So I just recommend holding on to it. Once you have it positioned the way you want it, go ahead and tighten it up. All right, once you get it nice and snug, make sure you don't crush the battery, but this needs to not move around. We'll be able to reconnect the battery. We'll start with the positive terminal. Make sure it's fully seated and the post of the battery protrudes through the terminal. And with that 10mm wrench, snug this up. Now you only want to get it snug. Don't tighten until it stops spinning. If you cannot rotate this by hand, that is plenty tight. If you over tighten it, it will stretch the terminal. Cap this off if your vehicle had a cap. It might make a little spark, that's normal. Make sure it's pressed down all the way, and then take your 10mm socket or ratchet and tighten up this mounting nut. I got it snug. I'm going to stop right there. As long as you can't spin this terminal with the mounting nut snugged up, that's plenty tight. If you go any tighter than that, it'll actually stretch this, and then it won't make a good connection in the future. That is properly secured. Let's line up the throttle body with the air intake. I'm going to start on all 4 bolts, and then we'll bottom them out and torque them. I'm going to snug these up in a cross pattern so that this can seat evenly. We'll torque these to 7 foot-pounds in a cross pattern. All right, those are tight. Plug this in, make sure it clicks. Reinstall the air inlet tube. Put it on one side first, and then on the other side. It should slide over smoothly. Reattach this hose in the center and secure it with the clamp. Snug up one of the clamps. You don't need to go until it's completely tightened. You just need to go until it's snug enough to where you can't spin this, and that's plenty. Same goes for this. Snug it up. If you can't spin it, that's perfect. Now, if you had an engine cover, you'd put it back on. Again, mine is missing. It's time to fill up our cooling system, and I recommend using one of these spill-proof funnels if you have access to one, because it makes it a whole lot easier to fill without spilling, of course, and it helps in the bleeding process. This is now the highest point in the system, and naturally, air is going to want to rise up into this funnel as coolant gets pulled in. We're going to fill up this funnel and let it bubble out. We're going to keep filling it until no more air bubbles come out of the funnel. Once it has settled, turn the vehicle on and let the engine run. That's going to circulate the coolant through the system as the water pump pumps it through. Therefore, we'll push any excess air out of the system and pull in all the coolant. Turn the temperature of the heat all the way up inside the vehicle with the blower set to low so it doesn't cool the engine off too much, and just feel for it. You want to make sure it's blowing really hot air out of the vents so that you know the heater core is full of coolant. Once the engine is at operating temperature, the thermostat has opened up and the air bubbles are no longer showing up in the funnel, you know the coolant system is bled. At that point, we can remove the funnel. All right, let's pull our funnel off. Reinstall the radiator cap. Make sure you lock it in fully, and that is filled up.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.